and She-Hulk. Let me talk to you, brother.
Yeah. He's got a finger that's covered in blood, apparently.
My finger's not taped, it's fucking wrapped because I cut myself on a brisket knife.
Oh no.
Cutting myself some briskets and not paying attention to my fingers. Like, people, there are so many classes on YouTube, online, literally, how do I cut properly to avoid this shit? Like, I've got blood right there. Yeah. Take a master class, learn how to cut. I was a little too overzealous, not paying attention. Who knows? I take full responsibility. But yes, I cut myself on a brisket knife.
Whoops a doodle.
Happy wrestling, everybody.
Happy wrestling, everybody. What's the point in wrestling with a knife if you don't get a little bloody? I mean, apparently that's
like in all the martial arts that I do, we say, like, look, if you're gonna fight against a knife, if you're in a knife fight, expect to get cut. So,
fair enough.
Now, I'm not saying like go find knife fights, but I'm saying, with any fight. Oh, you're in a kickboxing match, expect to get kicked, expect to get punched. If you're in a knife fight, expect to get cut, stabbed. You're in a knife fight, dude. Hello. So, but the Randy Savage is here. The cream,
I love that sweater.
Rises to the top.
That is magical. Well, it is the holiday season here at Better Than Broadway. Ryan's in his Macho Man Randy Savage ugly Christmas sweater, and of course I'm in the Santa's hat that I stole from a mall Santa 10 years ago. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm telling you. So, but yeah, man, holy guacamole. Have we had a wild couple of days since we've been away? Holy shit.
That's a way to put it. Okay, so let's just be straight honest. Survivor Series happened. The biggest return of the century.
100%.
R-Truth is back.
You bet. You damn right.
R-Truth is back. The national icon, the golden nugget, the blackest fucking superstar of all time. R-Truth is back.
We love R-Truth on Better Than Broadway. Dude. I specifically love R-Truth because he's just, anything that guy does is gold. I don't care what it is. Did you ever watch during the pandemic? Did you ever watch the R-Truth game show on Peacock? Did you ever watch that?
I did not, but I watched all the R-Truth 24/7 title shit. Like, oh, we're on the golf course. There happens to be a ref there. Someone's getting pinned. We're in a hotel room. Someone's sleeping. Someone's getting pinned. Dude, R-Truth is a golden. He is a diamond in the rough of WWE, of creativity, of laughter, of fun. He needs to be skyrocketed to the top.
I agree. Man's a national treasure. There's no doubt about it. I first ballot Hall of Famer, 97-time champion in WWE.
What, 97?
Well, yeah, like 96 of those are goddamn 24/7 championships, I'm sure.
So what you're saying, he's 3 away from a triple-digit champion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Randy Orton, CM Punk came back.
Yeah, Randy Orton, CM Punk are back. No one cares.
Okay.
The real story is R-Truth is back and better than ever. The man doesn't age. He is a treasure. We love Ron Killings. Ronnie, welcome back to WWE. You have been missed so terribly. The product is not being the same without you, but here we are. It's the end of 2023. And R-Truth.
I mean, Ron Killings, he's just like, he is the golden retriever of professional wrestling. Like, you give him a bone, he's like, I'll run with it. whatever you give me, I'm going to make it gold. And he will take whatever, and he's like, for the viewers, yeah, he will take whatever you give him. You can give him dirt, and he makes it gold. So Ron Killings, dude, come on the podcast, please. I would love to talk to you.
Oh, dude,
Rob will marry you.
If I could get Ron Killings to come on this podcast and talk to us for just 10 minutes, my life would be complete. Like I don't need anything else.
Okay,
That's
so
it.
Rob will die after that podcast.
Probably.
Okay.
It's like the Grimace Shake. I'm gonna be dead after I drink the Grimace Shake. The Ron
That's
Killings
fair.
is my Grimace.
So people, we're gonna do a little bit of a Survivor Series recap, but we have a special guest appearing in about 10 minutes. Hassan Wicker. He is an amateur professional wrestler. He is an amateur MMA fighter. He could kill us all.
Good.
Just saying.
And we're gonna ask him all the juicy questions, especially the ones that everyone wants to know. Who would you like to power bomb the most? And why is it Vince McMahon? And we've got a lot of good stuff, but let's recap this Survivor Series real quick. Women's match started the show. It was the most highly watched women's match in WWE history on a Survivor Series. That's pretty significant. You had Damage Control featuring Bailey and the Japanese Joshi threesome. You had Asuka, Kairi Sane, and your WWE Women's World Champion Io Sky, the former Io Shirai.
The only thing that mattered to me with this match, it was War Games, it was Survivor Series, was Io Sky putting herself
in the trash can.
In a trash can.
That's right.
A brand new trash can, fresh out of the factory. She coated herself in it and then jumped off as a, missile being launched, propulsion style.
Great spot.
Into the crowd.
Oh yeah. Of competitors, yes.
Yeah. And it was great. No other part of the match was that memorable than that moment.
Yeah. So anyway, Bailey, Becky, and Charlotte and Shotzi get the win after everybody hits their finisher on Bailey, and then Bailey gets manhandle slammed through the table by Becky for the 1-2-3. With Bailey eating this pin, and we all knew that she would. Called it before the match when we were at your house for Friendsgiving, which was a lovely time. Thank you, sir. It's wonderful. If you missed the Friendsgiving, sucks to be you. Just kidding. We love you. So, circling back, with Becky hitting the manhandle slam on Bailey, that further causes tension between Damage Control and Bailey. Ryan, would you like to see Bailey go back to being a face and having to deal with Damage Control with the help of the Four Horsewomen, or would you like to see her just continue to be a heel and just be an island of herself?
I like the island of herself. The island of herself. I think Bailey being, like, I built you all, I created you all. There's being a heel is always better. Always better. Because the thing is, you can be a good heel, but if you can be a kind of face, and if you're a kind of face, you're not a face. It's like being kind of pregnant. You either are or you're not. Right? So
I get
that. I think Bailey should be kind of like a standalone heel. And then we can, she can become a face, kind of like an MJF. Go so heel, you become, or MJF or Stone Cold Steve Austin. You become so evil that everyone loves you.
Yeah.
So, but Bailey needs to dive the only way through that is through heel, not through like, oh, I'm gonna be a face now. So that's my opinion.
And I feel like now that Bailey has been a heel for so long and she's no longer the hugger and she's no longer the bubbly, giggly, hee hee ha ha kind of character, I feel like you just can't go back to that. I mean, how is she going to evolve as a face if she goes back to her old, you know, character?
No,
I don't know.
she's gotta put down her own creations.
Yeah.
She created damage control. She needs to, guys, you've gone bigger than me. And if I let you continue, you're gonna burn down WWE.
Yep.
And she's the only one that can stop it. And therefore, like, no matter what, no matter who she has to burn over, she's going to stop them by fucking over everybody. And then she can become a heel, a face again, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's what I think will happen.
Well, time will tell. Hopefully we'll get a good answer about that. The men's War Games match was really, really interesting because everybody gets in the cage except for Randy Orton. Seth's bitching at Cody the whole match. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He's not coming. He's not coming. Blah, blah, blah.
Damian Priest
There's an opportunity.
almost cashed Money in the
Damian
Bank in.
Priest almost cashed in, which has never happened before. That would have been a historic cash in. Randy comes out and just starts running everybody over. Vintage Orton, classic Orton, all your favorites, all the hits. And then JD McDonough takes an RKO off the top of the steel cage, 20 feet down, donk, right on his face. He's in one of those fake neck braces on Raw, getting his ass kicked. And
Classic Roderick
I love
Strong.
the way I love the way you make the heels look strong in matches like this while letting the faces win, because the whole idea of a good heel is that they have to look the strongest
Yeah.
because they're the ones that usually when they're holding titles and the faces are chasing them, it makes the face look good, but the face has to look vulnerable. WWE
Well,
does a really good job of making the faces and the heels look strong without anybody looking bad.
who took the fall in that match?
Damian Priest. I think
Okay.
it was Priest.
The
Think
strongest
it was
guy
Priest.
of Judgment Day.
Might have been Dominic, but I think it was Priest. I can't
Are we
remember.
sure it wasn't Wheeler Yuta?
It was it was not this time it wasn't Wheeler Yuta. No, 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 no. I hate the fact that Katsuyori Shibata is no longer the ROH Pure Champion, but I love the fact that they've rewarded Wheeler Yuta with this title after all the L's he's taken all year long. They finally let this guy have a championship. Like, God bless him. God
It-
bless
it-
Wheeler Yuta.
I mean, come on. Like every time the BCC loses, it's because of Wheeler Yuta. And like there's an angle there of like, dude, you're the weakest part. You
Kick him
always
out.
get us a fucking L.
Kick him
So
out.
that to me is an angle, an untapped angle that could
Yeah,
be played.
absolutely. Short little notices of the matches. Rhea Ripley defends her title successfully against Zoe Stark. Good match. Gunther defeats The Miz. Really good match. Miz is not my favorite when he's a face, but he's so passionate about wrestling, and you can see it in his promos. So, because he cares so much, his face runs are always really good because he gets to show you just how much he loves the business, a business that they tried to kick him out of 20 years ago, and he
Uh
just kept with it.
the Miz is better as a freaking heel.
He
Like
is.
he talks epic level shit. Let him talk, and you can only talk that.
Yeah.
The only person who's ever been able to talk epic level shit as a face is John Cena. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Stone Cold and John Cena and The Rock.
Okay,
But
touche. Stone Cold, Rock, John Cena, the top three. But
there aren't many outside of The Miz who could really talk their shit, face heel indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, the guy's got it. And, for the fact that he's been here for almost 20 years and he hasn't quit and he hasn't given up and he got kicked out of the locker room and JBL shitting his luggage. I mean, you got to give
Whoa,
that
whoa,
guy his
whoa,
flowers.
whoa, whoa, whoa. JBL took a deuce in his luggage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Like a kayfabe deuce or an actual deuce?
No, it was a legit deuce. It was a legit deuce. Yeah. They hated him so bad because he was such an arrogant little shit. He came from MTV. He didn't pay his dues. I mean, he was 18, 19 years old when he came to WWE. He's our age now. And it's like this guy just rubbed people the wrong way. They kicked him. He thought he was a superstar. He was cocky. They kicked him out of the locker room, and JBL took a shit in his luggage. I mean, they were like, "Screw this guy. We're gonna make him quit," and he
Okay.
didn't.
Serious question.
God bless the Miz.
I don't care about the Miz. What did JBL use to wipe? And then was he going out to the ring after that?
I don't know. I
Like, who was he
probably used
working
one of.
after he dropped that deuce?
I have no idea.
That's what I want to know. Did he go to a bidet? Was there a bidet in the arena? Did he use, like, come on, Rob, where's the
Maybe we
tea?
need to get JBL on the podcast and ask him.
Where's the tea?
I'd love to know, but I feel like at the same time, I don't think JBL would want to talk about it. They probably signed some kind of crazy NDA after it was all done with, and they can't talk about it. It's kind of like CM Punk can't talk about AEW and Tony Khan can't talk about CM Punk because of the NDAs.
I mean, as someone who works in the entertainment industry, I I get it.
Yeah.
You can't unless you want to pay a mass level fine.
Yeah.
What's up, High News? Want to sponsor us?
Sponsors. Well, pretty good, pretty solid recap of Survivor Series. I'm happy with it. Um, I would like to talk about CM Punk briefly before we bring our guest on. Um, but our guest is ready. So why don't Chef, would you like to introduce our guest or would you like for me to?
I will introduce him, but then I'm going to pass it off to you as a tag in. Ladies and gentlemen, Hassan Wicker has joined us, and I only know him through the verbal tale of you need to know this guy, but I've trained at Superfly Jiu-Jitsu. You train at Superfly and America's Top Team with Jake Joe.
Yep.
So basically, through that, we've took each other out, or as a 4-stripe white belt, you've took me out by proxy. But apparently, Rob and Hassan know each other, so there's just that.
We sure do.
Yeah, I love this guy.
Buddy, you all set up and good to go?
Yeah, man. Still walking around. Just got home from training.
Yeah. I love the fact that you have on your OG Deep South Wrestling t-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, and who is that little pupper doodle right there?
Rocky, who will not leave me alone. I got a new puppy a couple months ago, and she's been my shadow.
Dude, dogs are angels among us.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege for us to bring and welcome to the podcast today Hassan Wicker, aka the Marvelous Marko. Everybody, Marko's in the house, y'all. God Almighty.
What's up, fella?
Former Southern Tag Team Wrestling Champion with Blake Beretta.
That was me. That's my boy.
Yeah, God Almighty. So
you talked to Blake lately?
I haven't talked. I talked to him a couple weeks ago. We checks in every once in a good little while. Good kid,
Yeah.
love him. Doing his stunt work thing now.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Love the hat. Love the hat, by
Yeah,
the
so
way.
you had yours. I was like, I can't be upstaged, man. So I had to go get it.
I would take mine off, but I've got really bad hat hair, and you're bald, so you're
Yeah,
lucky in that
I got
regard.
the same
Oh,
problem. Hat
so
hair is such a problem.
the person with the best hair is okay.
Oh yeah,
I'll put
there
that
it
out there.
is. Spike it up.
He's got the
Mm.
best hair today. Well, so just real quick, Hassan is the Marvelous Marko. He's a professional wrestler, and he is an MMA player. I think that's what they call them, is MMA players. I know they
Is that
call
what they
judo
call
players.
I am a jiu-jitsu practitioner, jiu-jitsu brown belt. Top
And he's a
team.
brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Yep.
And
America's
so
top
are
team.
you training at Superfly or America's Top Team?
Top team mainly. I'm one of the trainers over there.
Oh,
But
cool.
Jake is my man, so I'm always over at Superfly whenever I get a chance. So.
One of my favorite I've Jake's girlfriend Paula used to live with me. And so I know Jake quite well. And then when he was like, "Yeah, come on over to Superfly," I did that. And then my background is wrestling. I wrestled for 6 years, and Jake's like, "Yeah, come on." And so I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna grab his ankles," and I immediately pass his guard, and he's like, "Motherfucker!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go, dude." And then after that, I got tapped like 10 times straight. But
yeah, don't do that.
I learned my lesson. But you got to shoot your shot. Come on.
There you go. Both. Shoot your shot and don't get killed when you do it.
So Hassan, you went from what did you do first? Professional wrestling or jiu-jitsu?
Wrestling first. I've been a wrestler since officially, I want to say I started in 2001. And then I took like 10 years off and then came back in 2010. And then I met Jake in like 2014. We worked together and he introduced me to jiu-jitsu, and then it took a little while to get into it. And I've been doing jiu-jitsu pretty much consistently since 2017.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So brown belt in 6 years?
Yep. So I got all my belts, all my stripes from top team.
So that's what I could expect. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
That's incredibly impressive.
So Hassan, whenever we bring anybody on the podcast, we've got some standard questions. We need the deets. We need to know who we bring on are quality people.
Oh yeah.
So first and foremost, every person gets asked this, but who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
All right. So you got the givens. Like I saw this question. So you got the givens like Hogan, Macho, Flair, and those are the easy.
Dude, I've got the Macho right here.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it as soon as you put it on. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a Macho.
That is the most savage sweater I've ever seen.
But I always credit Benoit Mysterio as my favorites. Why? Because it's like Hogan was a big blonde white guy. I'll never be that. But Chris Benoit and Mysterio were both around my size, and they were
smaller guys.
And when I saw those guys, I was like, well, shit, maybe I can do this, So, so that's where I went after.
The pioneers of wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, it's so cool because, Benoit, with all his faults, it's like he was a small guy who took his fate into his own hands. Yeah. Same thing with Mysterio, and still doing it.
Still doing it. I remember reading about those guys, and like when I worked in a grocery store, you always had the pro wrestling magazines, and I'd sit there and I'd read about Taz and all those guys. And then I was like, oh, this guy is like 5'6", 130 pounds. I'm 130 pounds, and I'm 5'9". I could do this. And like, so
I can just throw that guy out the window.
Yeah, this is like, I'm doing it. And like, also credit Too Cold Scorpio. He probably doesn't remember me, but when I worked in the grocery store, he was always walking in and out, kind of encouraging me to find somewhere to go train. So, people like that.
I love it.
Too Cold Scorpio, man. What a guy.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Cheers to
Big
that.
fan of Too Cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember seeing him in the Macon Coliseum. He was working with Ron Simmons as his mystery partner, and
Oh yeah.
he did the disc that don't miss, that 450 splash off the top rope, and I ain't
Oh
never
yeah.
seen anything like it before in my goddamn life. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah. First
like
time I saw
9
that
years
shit.
old. It was amazing.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. And Ron Simmons, I gotta credit him too, man. It was like first black champion, and I
Damn.
remember watching that match and seeing him come out and seeing him beat Vader with the power slam. It's like, oh my god, that's a mark out moment for me. Oh
well,
yeah, that's
it's interesting because, like, Ron Simmons as Farouk and all of them coming up with the Nation of Domination as I was growing up, of like loving The Rock and The Rock becoming the leader of the Nation of Domination, and Farouk as the Brothers of Destruction. No,
no APA.
APA. It's right.
APA.
And so, I mean, he was an OG African American black champion, and then became a pioneer of ushering in these new guys that are now essentially the faces and the standard bearer of professional wrestling. So
it's like you can look at every single one of those guys in the nation and see what they did. It was like Godfather, of course, man. I don't even know why I didn't say Godfather. I think I did every one of that guy's gimmicks, from Papa Shango to the Godfather. Even
dude,
Tommy
I remember the Ho
Like,
Train all too well. As like a kid in middle school, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. So we can talk wrestling all day, man. That's my shit.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Well, you mentioned briefly for a second there seeing Ron Simmons power slam Vader to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship in 1994 to establish himself as the first black champion. Is that your favorite mark out moment, or do you have another one that
Yes, that was it. That was the mark out moment. That's one of them. There was another one when I was a kid. I went to a house show. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, right? So first ever wrestling event my father took me to, the main event of that house show was Ricky Steamboat and a mystery partner against Don Morocco and Mr. Fuji. I don't know how old you are. But
wow.
it was like, that was the main event. So as soon as Ricky Steamboat announced his mystery partner was Hulk Hogan, and the place went off the fucking roof. And then I was a fan like right there. So those two go as my neck and neck mark out moment. If you ask me on a certain day, I give you one of those answers.
I like that a lot.
I dig it. I dig it. I think my favorite or my most memorable mark out moment is when I was actually at the WCW event when Kevin Nash did the finger poke of death on Hogan. I'm sorry, Hogan did the finger poke of death on Kevin Nash.
Yes.
I was there, and I was like 15 rows back, and I was like, my stepfather took us, and I'm sure he was like, what the fuck? Like,
right.
I went there, him, me, and my best friend Michael at the time. We all went. I'm sure he spent, like $400 on tickets to be on the floor. It's like, oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Oh, yeah.
And then that happened. And it's like,
fucking awesome.
So angry.
Yeah. Oh
it's
man, I got a third one. The Hogan heel turn popped me too. I mean, like the second he gave the freaking leg drop to Macho, I think me and my best friend Kevin, we were like such wrestling marks back then, and we popped like off the roof. I think I jumped up to the ceiling. I did not see that coming, but I wanted it so bad to see Hogan turn heel.
I did like when Bobby the Brain Heenan said, "Which side is he on?" It's just kind of like, oh my god, it's really happening.
Yeah. My friend used to talk shit about that. It was like he kind of gave away the finish about which side is he on, and he kind of gave away the finish. But me, I was like 19, and I still didn't care. It was like the second I saw it happen, I was like, holy shit, did that just happen? What the fuck? Oh yeah, we're doing it.
Still blows my mind this time. That was 26 years ago, and it's still just like, no.
I mean,
unbelievable.
One of the biggest moments of pro wrestling that changed everything, you know,
Yeah.
because everything was so structured and standard. And like, you know, WrestleMania 1 or 2 had like the killer bees that were like going up against the Hart Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows they're going to win. But when you throw something out there that's going to make people gasp and literally like question, why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this entertainment business is about. That's why we're
Yeah.
called Better Than Broadway, because you watch a Broadway show, you know exactly what you're getting into. You watch pro wrestling, and every now and then they're going to pull that rug underneath your feet,
Yeah, you have no fucking
and
idea.
you don't know what's going on. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hassan, our next question, I know the answer to this one, but our audience obviously does not. Who are your trainers? The people that trained you for pro wrestling, and what do you believe is going to be their legacy on this industry? One of which who's passed away.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's a long list of trainers. So I initially started with Sarge at the power plant, well, the power plant adjacent, which was WWA4 at the time. And I started there, trained there for like a few months, trained under Sarge, of course. And he had a whole lot of WCW guys coming in and out, but I was only there for like 4 months. And then I came back like 10 years later after I saw the guy I started with, who was Shad Gaspar. As soon as I saw Crime Time on TV, I was like, fuck, I could have been JTG. What the fuck? So,
I remember Crime Time.
I went looking for a trainer and I found Stephen Platinum, and I trained with him for a couple years until he moved away. And then I started looking for different trainers. I trained with Crew Jones. I did seminars with Les Thatcher. I did all sorts of seminars. Anybody I could train with, I would go. And then finally, my friend Blake introduced me to Jody Hamilton and Nick Patrick, and then there we go. We were Jody's last two students. And like their impact on the industry, I mean, like Deep South is now running again. I mean, like Nick Patrick should go into the Hall of Fame, honestly. I don't know why
No
they weren't
question.
allowing referees into the Hall of Fame, but that's their old deal. But
What would
and
you
their
say?
impact,
What would you say is like the golden nugget of what they taught you?
the golden nugget, slow down.
Slow down.
Ooh,
Yeah,
good advice.
slow down. I mean, like,
Slow down, striker. Slow down. Slow down,
yeah,
Beretta. Slow down, striker.
yeah, slow down. Let it register. It's like 3 stages of selling. We talk about that all the time in class. So it's like slow down, let it register. Slow down, let it register.
Well,
Slow down.
hold on. You said something that's very, very important, because I'm Hassan, you don't know this. Rob knows this. I'm a screenwriter. I'm a producer of movies. I'm producing a vampire movie right now. But you
hold
have
on. I got sharp teeth. I don't know.
you got some fangs. So you have the 3 stages of selling.
Yes.
Walk us through that. And why is it important to slow down?
Why
I know
important?
this, but
Yeah.
you know.
So the crowd needs to know this, because the crowd doesn't know what it feels like, but they need to register and connect with you. So if you just work in a hammerlock, I don't want to sell it like you just put me in your fucking finish. So that's like one stage of selling. So you hit me here, boom, okay. There's the register, and then there's like, oh shit, that hurt. Okay, boom, and then there's the like, just like if Kurt Angle puts me in fucking ankle lock, then that's when I'm screaming and tapping the fucking mat like I'm in fucking pain. So there's a scale to it. So you get what I'm saying?
100%.
All right, cool.
So that being said, okay, this is not in the questions I sent you earlier. What is the most painful thing you've been in?
The most painful thing I've been in?
In pro wrestling, not in jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna ask jiu-jitsu.
You know who our trainer is, so I'm just saying. Fucking heel hooks are goddamn big. Shit. But yeah, the most painful thing I think was what's that shit fucking called? Damn it.
So all I know is like
the Goji clutch, the Koji clutch. That's the one. I hate that fucking movie.
The Koji clutch?
Yeah. It's like a cripple across face with the legs, and there's no way to fucking like not sell this shit, because it's like it's pushing on your head, pulling your arm, and like I'm not going to sit there and hold that fucking move. I'm just going to be tapping out.
Awesome.
I know what hurt me the most, and that's when I told Nick and Jody I wasn't coming back, was when Beretta suplexed me off the top rope. I felt like every one of my teeth got rattled out of my face.
Why the hell are you taking that in practice? This is the question I'm asking. I don't do that shit.
Jody's sitting there puffing his cigar in the truck, and he's like, Stryker needs to take a big bump. I'm like, no, he does not.
Oh man,
Rob, was that your name as a pro wrestler, was Stryker?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Pop that right now.
Huh?
You need to pop that right now.
No, we're good.
Yeah. Rob Hall's professional wrestler name was Stryker.
This is about Hassan.
Well, no. Hassan is here. He wants to know too. This is like the more.
Go ahead, Stryker. Let's break that shit out. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Hassan knows the name. He's good. He doesn't need to worry about it.
People need to Google you, dude. Like, Stryker from like Mortal Kombat 3.
Can't Google it. Can't Google it.
You can't Google it. That was before Google, 100 years ago. That's why it doesn't matter.
It's out there. It's out there.
We know you're Stryker, Rob. We know you're Stryker.
There might be one snippet of a barnyard match with me and Blake, and that's it. There's nothing left.
So Hassan, our next question. If you could powerbomb anyone in history, who would it be?
I would powerbomb racism.
Fair answer.
This is the best answer we've ever received to this question. Well done. Love it.
No. If I'm gonna pick a person, I go to hell and powerbomb Henry Kissinger. It's about.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
Henry fucking Kissinger. Okay.
I'd powerbomb Henry Kissinger too.
I would go to hell and say, hey, show me where he is. Boom, now let me out. All right,
where are the tapes, Henry?
Dude, I just remember because I grew up in I was born in 82. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. And so like in the 90s was when I got into everything. And it's like, the WCW at like 11 o'clock at night, I'm on TV, in my TV, and like, holy shit, like Steamboat versus Flair, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you start seeing WWF, not E yet. And there'd be the Bret Hart versus Diesel, Shawn Michaels, and the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels Iron Man match. And like Diesel walking around in WWE was uncanny because he was giant, and the powerbomb left an impression on me of like, there's no coming back.
Everybody
you're literally dead.
Like legit badasses for like Sid Vicious, Vader, Diesel. Who else used to fucking powerbomb? Shit, even the way Gunther used it now. I mean, like shit. Who'd you say, bro? Batista, yes. Fuck. Even Benoit did a powerbomb. If you ever look at his old shit. He used to do a powerbomb from the top, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not taking that shit.
You know who's got a really underrated powerbomb was Jushin Thunder Liger. He had that Liger bomb, that sit out
fucking Liger bomb. Yep. The Liger bomb, that running thing, yep.
Yeah. We just don't think of him because he's a smaller guy. But I mean, he was devastating motherfuckers with that shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, even D'Lo Brown, like even though Draws got hurt in that running powerbomb, the shit still looked great, and he landed clean. And like he had to be watered down after Draws got hurt, but that running powerbomb from D'Lo was just fucking awesome. I love that guy. That guy was so underrated. Who else you got? Come on, keep firing these questions off. No.
All right. So who's been your favorite opponent so far?
My next one? I mean, I don't really have like I can't say it's a favorite. It's like my favorite right now. Whoever I'm married to is like the second we connect, I love them, and and there's nobody like, because I'm gonna keep learning like every single time. So I would say like people I learned from as I was coming up, people like Simon Sermon, even when I get to wrestle one of my students, each person I wrestle is my favorite because I'm gonna put my all into every single match, no matter what.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when I would wrestle people, or I'd do, kickboxing with people, because, my current martial art is American karate, which is essentially kickboxing. Like you want everyone to grow, and you want everyone, to surpass you, and that's the pleasure of it all.
Yeah.
And when you do that, that's the rewarding thing as a teacher. And so, essentially your students become your opponents until you're like, okay, you're good, you can go, so respect.
Yeah. So like if like I can go back to the old days when I wrestled like people who were training me, like Jay Fury, Simon Sermon, and then they'll say, "Thumbs up, kid, that was great." I'm like, "Oh shit, I love it." And then when I can do that same thing to like my students now, when I go, and I get shit, that was great. You did everything I asked you to. Oh, we good. Now you're my favorite.
So are you training other professional wrestlers now, or is it more
Yes, I
jiu-jitsu?
am. I'm the head trainer down at Deep South Wrestling. That's why I got the OG shirt on.
Oh shit.
I work
Okay.
out. So, like I said, I train under Jody and Nick. And then at first, it just started off Nick just asking me to do stuff that he couldn't do because he's, getting in the 60s, can't take those bumps like that. So he would ask me to do it. And then before I know it, I'm running classes. And then he pops out and does like Jody used to do for us. He doesn't sit there smoking a cigar, but he's sitting there watching and evaluating. And then as soon as they get done, he come out with his notes. He's like, "Okay, you did this, you did this, you did this." Like, that's how it continues.
I was just gonna ask if he was sitting in the truck in the AC or the heat, depending on the weather, and just watching from the truck. But no, that's fun.
You got a
I will
kid.
say that those Deep South shirts, the OG ones, because the new ones have has Jody's face on them, the assassins. Yeah, but like those shirts, you've got one. I know Blake's got one. I don't know. I have one somewhere. I think I lost mine years ago. But like those are like the Ribeiro's Steakhouse jackets of American wrestling, in my opinion, because you really you had to be important to Nick and Jody to get one of those shirts.
Yeah, exactly. They don't just give these things out.
No.
They earn it. Be there at least more than a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
You earned our stripes.
So
we got to get Nick on the show.
Yeah, get him on. He'd love to do this.
So Hassan, last week I had friends giving up my place, and Jake Johansson was here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this is how he would recommend you come on. And he was saying like, "Oh man, you were training pro wrestling, but also you're like, brown belt in jiu-jitsu," which is no fucking joke, by the way. I have been tapped by blue through purple through brown through black. You just get your ass kicked. It's quicksand. You coming up through the ranks. Anyways, but he was saying you were working on your pro wrestling. And he's like, "Why don't you do any of your jiu-jitsu submissions?" And he said you were like, "Because they actually could really injure somebody."
Yeah.
So how has your MMA's kind of blended into being a professional wrestler without injury?
It's a lot of the same moves. Because pro wrestling is just catch wrestling without the jing into it. And catch wrestling is just pretty much, to me, American jiu-jitsu. So the moves are still the same. And I do actually do a few moves from jiu-jitsu in there. Like I used to use a omoplata. It's just a Rings of Saturn. I just do it the way I do it. That was how I finished a lot of people in tournaments, was platas.
Well, Daniel Brando's a version of the omoplata as his finisher.
Yeah. And I did that too. I did the same move. But really, like, I have a gimmick. So a lot of times I may not have to wrestle as much as people like think they have to, because I can go out there, put my face paint on and yell, and the most I have to do is a fucking stinger splash and that shit gets over. So I don't have to go out there and just do like a full out MMA Crispin Roth versus Eddie Guerrero 5-star classic, when all I have to do is just go out there and fucking yell, and I get the pops that I need. So jiu-jitsu is more for me than it is for pro wrestling. When I first met Jake, I was looking for stuff. I was like, hey, what can I do out of jiu-jitsu that I can do in pro wrestling? And that's how we got cool. But I think I used like maybe 2 of those moves that he taught me. But really it's just work the gimmick, and you don't have to work so hard.
Well, I think you touched on a really good point there. As a fellow martial artist, of a striker, martial arts is all about, the journey is only with yourself. It's only with the mirror. And, and if you're in there for anything else than just self-improvement, then you're in there for the wrong reasons. However, pro wrestling is out there for being an entertainer, being a showman. And so I love that, like, you can take this mirror reflection and like, okay, let's add some steroids. Let's go. So I love that.
Yeah. So that's really all it's about. It's like being a showman. Just like you said, the better showman I am, the less hard I have to work. So I can save my back. I may take 3 bumps in a match and get the biggest pop of the night just from being a good showman. It's not about being a good wrestler. It's sports entertainment. The whole goal is to entertain.
100%.
Yeah.
Couldn't say it better.
Yeah. So keep these questions coming. Come on. Fire them up.
We started this question a couple of months ago. It was Chef's idea. If you could have a cut to, like, a moment in pro wrestling history that you could replace or fix, what would you do? Like Montreal Screwjob, for example. Like, if you could go back and replace or fix or make something better, a cut to moment, you're the editor, it's the cutting room floor. What do you do?
All right. This is a very good question, because I was actually on the road today, and we brought this up not even knowing I was going to get asked this question. Then when I saw the question, I was like, that's exactly it.
Perfect.
And it goes back to that Montreal Screwjob. When Brett signed to WCW, I wish Owen would have signed with him. Because if Owen would have signed to WCW, he'd still be alive.
Yeah.
So that's my cut. Yeah. And I think Owen would have been a superstar in WCW, and Brett would have, if they would have brought the Hart Foundation. Imagine the Hart Foundation against the NWO or against the Horsemen. I mean, like, with full strong. Brett, Owen,
what an amazing idea.
That would have been fucking awesome. That's my cut to it.
Okay, I dig it.
I love that. A couple of weeks ago in our group chat, I sent them a video of Owen when he was in All Japan Pro Wrestling in the early 90s, when they were doing the high energy gimmick with Coco. Yeah. And just the things that he did were so incredible. I mean, it's almost fair to say that he was better than Brett. And I think Brett knew that too.
Yeah.
Who was older of the brothers?
Brett was older.
Okay.
Yeah. But Owen was so untapped. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, WWF back then, and Owen, I think if Owen would have went to WCW and shown how good that he can actually wrestle, I think he would have had some of the best matches ever. Yeah. Because just so much that he could do that was just untapped in WWF or WWE.
Couldn't agree more.
So real quick, forgive my memory. What happened first? Was it Owen's death, or was it Brett signing with WCW?
Brett signed first. It happened while he was in WCW. I think before he even made TV. It happened so quick. It was like he signed, and then they were introducing everybody to WCW. Like, Neidhart went, Bulldog went, and then Owen stayed, and then they started a feud with him and Michaels, the whole Nugget chant and all that other stuff. And
I remember that. Yep.
And then, like, Brett was coming up, and then all of a sudden they turned Owen back to the
The
Blue
Blue
Blazer,
Blazer.
had him teaming up with Jarrett and doing all that other shit, and then boom, the fall hits.
Shit, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. So,
All right. Well,
think,
that being said, with all the the stuff going on, what is what is your advice for the wrestlers of tomorrow?
the same thing told to me: slow down,
Slow down.
slow down. There's so much to be said in just a facial expression, and there's so much mileage you can get out of the simplest of moves. Because just like one of the OGs told me, the crowd don't know what it feels like. So you
Yep.
don't have to rush through it.
You have to explain it to you. You have to spoon feed them.
Yeah, explain it to them in your face, in your body,
Mhm.
in your language, in the language that we speak in the ring. Explain it to them. Explain what's going on. And the more you can do that, the less you have to hurt your back. You don't have to go out there and just take a million fucking bumps that don't mean nothing. You take one, and you get the biggest pop of the night. I mean, it's
What a
that simple.
great piece of advice.
Yeah, and that's from
Hassan
Jimmy
probably
Ray.
Hassan probably doesn't remember this, but I do, and it meant a lot to me. Something as simple as a headlock. You put somebody in a headlock. If you don't turn your wrist over, then
Mm-hmm.
your radius, the bone in your arm is sitting on their jaw, and it's
Yeah.
causing them pain. As soon as you turn that wrist over, they're in the muscle, so it's a lot softer and it doesn't hurt them as much. And I'm doing a headlock, right? And then Son just grabs my wrist and he turns it over, and he says, "Okay, now tight." So we bring it in tight because I guess he didn't like my radius,
So this is a real
tearing
story.
up his jaw. This is a real
Yeah.
story. I'm serious. I don't remember where the hell we were. We were either at the gym, we were in the ring, or whatever. And I've got him here, and he just grabs my arm and just does this and turns me over. And I didn't, it's little things like that you've got to do to protect, the guy you're in the ring with. It matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so thank you for, the little, pearls of wisdom.
No, you're welcome, brother. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Get mileage. Don't hurt each other. I mean, and make some money.
Go down.
Tell a story. That's what it's all about. Just
That's
telling
why
a
we're all
story.
there. That's why everyone's there,
Yeah.
is to make some money and have a good time.
Yeah. That's it. Just tell a story. Tell us a story. And tell us a bigger one. Then tell us a bigger one. And
Yep.
tell us a bigger one. That's
Yep.
all. That's what it's all about. I mean,
I
same
have
thing in making a movie. You know.
Right.
100%. You keep escalating until it's to his point, and then Frodo's got to toss that ring into Mordor, and all of a sudden he can't, and all of a sudden Sam's got to like, shit, I got to carry you up there. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you keep escalating
Mm-hmm.
until it hits the
No
fan.
more. Yeah, and then part two comes.
Right.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
Well, speaking of good stories and telling a good story, and that's what wrestling's about, is telling the best story you can tell. Um, if you had to give a State of the Union on professional wrestling, you're President Hassan, you're the president of the World Wrestling Alliance, or the Global Wrestling whatever, and you have to talk about WWE, AEW, Impact, MLW, GCW, Ring of Honor, uh, New Japan, All Japan, Noah, like all these companies. You're the boss of all of them, and you're given the State of the Union. What is the state of global wrestling as a whole? Are we good? Are we strong? Are we weak? Are we kind of in the middle?
My fellow Americans, the state of wrestling today.
Hassan Hassan Obama, please tell us. That's your next gimmick right there.
I actually did that once. I did have a president gimmick at one point, but
Nice.
it was fun. It was really fun. But the state of wrestling is, to me, in a good place, because I can see it's going to continue on in some places. Like as far as WWE goes, I've started watching the product again. I'm interested, and it's holding my interest. I love that CM Punk is back. I love that NXT is just full of legacies, from the Rock starter to Bull Buchanan's son, who I got to wrestle a couple times, and to see like people that I've even trained before come up in the ranks and seeing them come up, like people like Austin Theory, like Gigi Dolan, who's one of my kids at one point. It's just to see like where the future is going. I can see the machine is behind it and it'll keep going. AEW, I like a lot of things. Like I love what Tony Storm is doing, and I see like little sprinkles of what they can be doing. And once they get the aim and focus, they can be what WCW was and be like a legit threat to WWE if they get the shit together. If they come in and tell a story, it's the same thing. Tell me a story.
If only we've been talking about that for how many months now?
Yeah. Stop marking out for yourself. I mean, like that's what I see with Tony Khan. He's like, it's almost like the show was just performing for him rather than, carrying on with a real trajectory that can go on without him.
Sure.
Vince McMahon isn't part of WWE, but that WWE model will keep going. Because he set a system in place for that to happen. You won't see a lot of beefs. You won't see CM Punk fighting anybody over there because they set it up where that shit won't happen. You get what I'm saying? So, second you get your ducks in a row and just focus on the story itself, I mean, the sky's the limit because wrestling is a performance art.
Well, I think, it comes down to
years and years,
It comes down to, good television, good movies, is that any good movie, any good television show is all about characters. If you have the right characters, the story will revolve around those characters. And I'm not trying to say characters a million times, but it's the same exact thing. If you have the right people with the right motivations, the story will form itself. And then you can, put the Jenga blocks where they need to go. And so, period, 100%. It's all about people.
Yeah, exactly. Put the people in place and let everybody do their job and do it right. Let the storytellers tell the story. Let the players play. I mean, that's simple. Know your role and shut your mouth. I mean, it's like
know your role, goddamn mouth.
Simple fucking advice.
Timeless advice.
Yeah. As long as you know what your role is, I mean, that's all you gotta do. Shut your mouth and work. It's that simple. But let's see if they listen.
Yeah.
She wants to play right now.
Well, Hassan, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Awesome. Thank you. It's been a pleasure being on.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Y'all need to get Nick on here next.
We shall.
I need to give Nick a call. 100%. I'm
it right now.
I'm glad you.
Right now. Now.
Yeah, right now. Right.
Not now.
He's doing a podcast
right
himself right now, but yeah, get him on here.
When will then be now? Soon.
Call Joe Hamilton.
There you go. Don't give phone.
And we're gonna figure it out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for Better Than Broadway, featuring Hassan Wicker, also known as the
Marvelous Marko,
Marvelous Marko.
Yeah,
Marvelous Marko.
Papa Marko. I mean, I do 2 gimmicks nowadays.
I'll put his socials in the description note. Follow him, follow us. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell him what you want him to do. If you want him to do a triple backflip, he'll do it.
I will.
Yeah.
I can do a double backflip. You want to see it?
He will do a triple.
You ready? You ready?
Oh, he's gonna do it on camera? Yeah.
Did you catch it?
Oh, we saw it.
That was Muhammad Ali fast. Let me talk to you.
Watch that. Get that. Yeah. Rate us on Amazon Prime, on Google, and on Spotify, all that shit. Other than that,
all right, brothers.
To Rob, to Son, thank you, everyone. Hit the music.
Thank you.
Happy wrestling, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yes, yep. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.